Daily Broadside, day 735. It's a tragedy for me to see the dream is over, and I never will forget the day we met. Girl, I'm gonna miss you. Who in the hell writes that as their funeral parent song? Like when your parents die, that ain't what you play. That's about an old girlfriend you miss, or you missed out on, or whatever. It just didn't work out. You don't play that for your parents. Read the lyrics. It's weird, right? It makes it even creepier. And they can only be talking about Kitty Menendez, who, by the way, was not an attractive woman when she was a model or whatever, and later on in life, never pretty. Okay. And then while we're at it, they made these pretty boys. Everybody looks like Zac Efron in the movie. In real life, them dudes look like monkeys. They're like chimpanzee heads, but the Menendez brothers weren't good looking, but the actors they tried to make good looking. I don't like that. I want a biopic to make people look as ugly as they really were, right? But Javier Bardem was a great choice. But let's get back to the song, okay? At one point in the verse, like the second or third verse of that song, it says, "Like a honeybee, you took the best from me." You like how I sound like Robin Fab? Who didn't sing it, so I don't really sound like Robin Fab, but you know what I mean. I got to thinking about that line, and I got to thinking I'm spending too much time thinking about this song because I couldn't come up with what the hell that means. Think about it like this, all right? Let's put yourself in a relationship. You've all had relationships. Put yourself in one that failed, like just crashed and burned, right? Maybe you're dating Thomas over here, or you're dating Sally from the Valley, whoever, it doesn't matter, all right? You put yourself in a relationship, and you think to yourself one day, you wake up and you're just this forlorn, pissed off guy, and you're just like a honeybee, they took the best of me. And you said that to yourself. And then you'd be like, what in the hell does that even mean? What am I talking about over here in my head? I've thought about it too long and too often, and it still doesn't make any damn sense. Like, you ain't got to always rhyme stuff. If it don't make sense, don't make it rhyme, you know what I mean? But anyway, I am currently headed down to Savannah, Georgia, as they call it, because when there's a hurricane afoot, I head south. This is going to be a wise idea. I think I might get a little moist this weekend or this week. But at any rate, here I am, okay? Here I am, the one that you love. All right, so it made me think about this as I got packed this morning and left. Got up at 4 o'clock and changed the oil, did some stuff, and hit the road, right? I got to thinking about Savannah Smiles, campy little movie from like 82 or whatever, starring the then unknown Brigitte Anderson. Close enough. Although they're both, no, Brigitte Nielsen's not dead. Or is she? I know she was an alcoholic. It doesn't matter. Brigitte Anderson died, born in 75. I think she died in 97 maybe, of a heroin overdose, sadly. It was only in like 4 or 5 films. Pretty little girl. And the movie revolves around Brigitte, or Bridget, I don't know how she says her name, written by Mark Miller, who was in a bunch of plays and westerns and whatnot all through his life. Died at 97 just a couple years ago in 2022. And this was actually his last movie. But he wrote, directed, produced, whatever, financed, all that stuff. Although he needed some help getting it financed and off the ground, so he looked to his friend Eunice Kennedy, the sister of all the other Kennedys, Ted and RFK and JFK and everybody, all deceased now. And she died a few years ago of undisclosed ailment, whatever you want to call it. I think in like 2019, 2018 maybe, 2008. Seems like it had an 8 in it. Nevertheless, he asked her for her help, and through one of her charities that she supported, they took all the proceeds from the film the first weekend, donated, and that helped to get it off the ground, whatever. So he writes this movie. And long story short, which is not possible with me, it's basically 2 hardened criminals just angry at the world. You know, you got Boots, Donovan Scott, who you'll also know as Leslie Barbara from the Police Academy movies, who, just gets beat up because he's just a geek. That guy's urinating on the side of the road out of an Isuzu Trooper, which you don't see very often anymore. The Trooper, not the urination. You see that quite frequently if you just pay attention. But and then Alvy, played by Mark Miller. So Alvy and Bootsy, they're escaped convicts on the run in some hoopty car, right? And they go out and they rob a store. And one of the things I like about the robbery scene is no telling how many times they filmed it, but one of the times they filmed it, and the one they kept in the movie, is they back out and Alvy's coming out of the store. They've robbed a grocery store. He's got all these You know, he looks like Dom DeLuise in Cannonball Run. I'm a pepper, you're a pepper, he's a pepper. Wouldn't you like, get in the car, you know, and say, get in the car, and they run off. He drops like a cantaloupe or a watermelon or something, and it splits and rolls across the road. And as they back out and tear off, it like lodges itself onto the bumper and stays on the metal bumper. And I bet the director was just beside himself, you know, just like, cut, we're taking that one. We'll never replicate that again. I just thought that was kind of a neat scene. Anyway, the little girl, Brigitte, her parents, her dad's running for like state senate or some crap. And so he's in the middle of a re-election campaign, and she feels neglected. So she skedaddles and hops in the back seat to run away of their car. And then they realize, oh crap, we've got like a 6-year-old girl on the lam with us. So hilarity ensues, whatever. And what it really turns out to be is Alvy is the Grinch, and Boots and Bootsy, whatever you want to call him, is kind of he's the Ed McMahon character to Alvy's whatever. And he's the comedic relief, right? And so Mark Miller, Alvy, his heart grows like 10 times by the end of the movie because it cracks open and all. And he starts to have a heart because he takes an affection for Savannah. You know, not in an inappropriate way, but just in a way like, you know, whatever. And the movie was written for his real daughter, who is named Savannah. Actually, his wife at the time, something Stranger or Stanger, is actually Savannah's mom in the movie. But by the time they got around to shooting it, the real Savannah was like 11 years old and she was too old. But she plays a bit part as the Brigitte Savannah character's cousin Beth. She has a small speaking part in it, but she was just too young or too old and too big to be the real Bridget, so they get this girl. Drew Barrymore was up for the role, and fortunately they didn't take her because she's not an attractive girl, both as an ET young kid and also as an adult. Because this is like Drew Barrymore. So tell me more. She talks too close, man. Back up. Nobody wants to talk to your face that close. It's ridiculous. But I'm glad she didn't get that movie. But anyway, so everything goes out well. Pat Morita, the Karate Kid, Miyagi guy, he's a priest. I don't like his character in there. Why the hell you gonna call you priest when why is there always a priest involved in TV kidnappings? I don't get it, right? Then they got snipers on the roof. Peter Graves is involved, and he's like, all I see when I see Peter Graves is him in the cockpit of an airplane making inappropriate remarks to a young kid, right? And Kareem Abdul-Jabbar sitting beside him, you know. But at any rate, they're like taking sniper shots, and it's like, take the shot. And you're like, you can't just shoot a kidnapper. He's sitting in there, like, Savannah comes in there and she can't sleep. Albie, I can't sleep. So he picks her up, and he's kind of dancing with her and lulling her to sleep to this old country song that he probably sang on the damn soundtrack and to cut costs. And then they got like snipers zeroing in. It's like, there's no threat. You can't just we have rules of engagement in this world. You can't just, this isn't, Thailand, damn. And I don't know, I apologize to Thailand. I don't know what y'all's sniper engagement rules are, but in America, you can't do that. At least not in 1982, you couldn't. But at any rate, that reminded me of Savannah, because I'm headed to Savannah, and I'm going to smile this week. Even if it's raining, I'm going to smile right through that damn rain. Girl, you know it's true.